Hello and welcome back to a brand new episode of the Geek Press. On today's episode, Noah and Lewis basically just catch up and talk about the craziness that is Thanksgiving and explore a myriad of topics, including the books and comics we're currently reading, the new Halo tabletop game, Halo Flashpoint, as well as our switch from Twitter to Blue Sky. If you enjoy what you're listening to, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Leave feedback across the board throughout all our social media platforms, and you'll hear me in a minute. See ya.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, theys and thems. My name's Luis Gutierrez, and welcome to another episode of the Geek Press podcast. As always, I'm joined by my ever list of rotating celebrity guests. Guests. We got them. Yeah, look at us, celebrities. Today we are joined by the fabulous, the one, the only, Pedro Pascal.
It's me, Pedro Pascal. Hello, it's me, Pedro.
I don't know how we're gonna edit that.
Hi, I'm Noah. I do horrible celebrity impressions every podcast, and today I couldn't do it because I would never disrespect Pedro Pascal in that manner. I'm sorry, I failed you.
I'm used to them.
I need to give you like a list of impersonations. Should I just start practicing impersonations?
It's just your racist Asian voice that you do.
I will. Oh my god, I don't have a racist Asian. I don't know why you and your people keep spreading this
My
propaganda.
people?
Yeah, your people. It's my issue. I have maybe like 10 impersonations in my pocket. None of them are good, but they're all distinct in a way. So it's just you're gonna eventually. I'm surprised we haven't read repeat accents on this podcast.
I think we
I think
have.
have we?
I want to say so.
I don't know. I don't know. Anyways, but this is the podcast where we talk about things
Yeah,
that
we're
we
gonna
like.
talk about your racist
Yeah.
accents.
Oh my god. Now we're gonna talk about what you've been listening, what you've been watching, what you've been getting into.
Funny you
What's
say
up with you?
listening. I've been listening to a lot of racist accents, particularly ones by Noah J. Garcia the third.
hmm Well, I'm the first, so you're talking about my great great grandchild.
Okay, so what I've been watching, listening. Let's see here. I've been watching What We Do in the
hmm
Shadows. I'm just
hmm
kind of binging that right now. That's a whole thing I will get into later. And then I watched I'm gonna go on a little bit of a rant. Okay, so my
Go for
totally
it.
real girlfriend and we go
I met her. She's real.
we try to go to the theater every Tuesday. That's usually our thing because it's $5 Tuesday,
hmm
and we live right next to a Cinemark. When I say right next to, I mean like it's like a hop like around the block effectively.
hmm
And so that's become our de facto theater, and we would go on $5 Tuesdays. We'll catch a quick film, and if it's usually something we're like really excited to see. So like Gladiator, for instance, Gladiator came out like Friday, I think. What came out today? Or, fuck, wait, hold on. What's today's date? Today is the 22nd as we're recording.
Came
So
out.
I think
Came out.
Gladiator's already out.
Yeah.
And we were like, yo, let's go watch it on Tuesday. This movie looks pretty good. I haven't seen the first one, but this one looks cool. And so we're like, yeah, we're gonna buy our tickets online. And then fucking Cinemark, lo and behold,
hmm
got rid of $5 Tuesday for the holiday. So now for the rest of the
Bitches.
holidays, we can't go to the movies because we don't want to pay full price for some
hmm
tickets. Because it was like if we buy them online, it would have came out to like 24 roughly, give or take, $23 for two
hmm
tickets. And we like to get our popcorn, we like to get our drinks. So then that's
Yeah.
gonna quickly turn into like a $50 bill. And I'm just like,
Yeah.
so we're kind of contemplating if we're still gonna go to Cinemark or not for the holidays. But now that I'm saying this out loud, I haven't looked into like AMC.
hmm
That's another local one. So I haven't looked into AMC yet. I'm hoping that they're still doing $5 Tuesdays for the holidays because that seems really lame that they're just like, nope, no $5 Tuesdays until the new year. And but yeah. Anyways, I went to go see Heretic before that rule implemented, and I thought Heretic was
hmm
okay. It's one of those movies that it starts off good. It does a lot of fun concepts with like religion, like the Church of Judaism, Church of Mormon. A
Hmm.
lot of it's very it pokes at Christianity a lot, and I like it when films and stuff do stuff like they're just like let me take some jabs
Hmm.
at this, and then as the movie goes on, it loses itself and it kind of gets lost in its own sauce of like
Hmm.
religion, and by the end of the movie, I'm just like, all right, this was a fun I wouldn't say it was horror, but it was more like suspense.
Like a thriller,
Yeah,
suspense.
yeah. There was horror elements to it, but it's never like it's just like the killer's in the next room. What are you gonna do? And something like
Hmm.
that. And it was a good like suspenseful movie, but if you're looking for like I would say it's a fun movie to watch. I don't know if I'd recommend it. If I had to give it a scale, I'd give it like a 3. Like I'm gonna do letterbox ratings.
Hmm.
I give it like a 3. I think
Okay.
in my letterbox I gave it a 3. I think it's a fair thing to give it because the main guy in the movie, it's like a core cast of like 3 people.
Hmm.
Um the main dude is really good. The girls are really good in that movie. And yeah, I'm being vague because I don't know if people are gonna go watch it or not. But I found myself kind of like being less judgmental of A24 films as of late.
Hmm.
Because before they all used to be misses for me. I'm like, oh, this sucked. This
Hmm.
wasn't good. But I don't know. I feel like this year I've seen a lot of A24 films. I'm gonna look up my letterbox account really quick, and they've all been pretty
Hmm.
solid here. Let me run the list. I know this one came out last year, but I saw it at the beginning of this year.
Hmm.
I saw Iron Claw. I thought that one was really good. I saw X, and then let's see. I saw Maxine. After Maxine, I saw We Live in Time, and now Heretic. Those are
Hmm.
all A24 films, and I thought they were all pretty solid for the most part.
I remember watching the trailer for Heretic, and it seemed really cool. But yeah, no, it seemed to it came across more of like a thriller. Like obviously this guy is fucked up and he's gonna do something and something bad's gonna happen. And yeah, people are scary. Like people are I know that's a silly thing to say, but I remember yesterday somebody was at the door and I came and it was this Jehovah's Witness guy and he had his like 6-year-old daughter and they were like there to like, oh, preach whatever. I said, oh no, I can't. Like, can I get you guys a water? I give him a water, send him. But also, like, it's scary just to go up to people. There's a scary part of just going up to people's houses and just being like, hey, what's going on? And for two young women to go to this house that's like, I don't want to say middle of nowhere, but like someplace that's like, isn't like a cliffside or where is
They
the house
never
again?
explicitly explain where it
But it
is.
seems a little isolated, right?
Yeah, I guess that's a fair. I mean, they honestly didn't like. They left that up to the imagination. There's an offline
Mhm.
like, oh, my house is on a cliff, but like you never see that or anything.
Yeah. So like that premise itself is scary, but then add in all these like layers of like
I
talk about religious ideology, and it seems interesting.
I will say this: there
Mhm.
are a lot of like red flags in the movie that I'm like, you girls are a couple of dumb bitches
Mhm.
because what's my dog somewhere they like in the movie they explicitly say
Mhm.
they're like, hey, we can't enter your house until we see another woman. I heard that.
Oh yeah, and oh shit. Sorry, I'll cut it. I'll cut it. Say it again. Say it again. Don't
and
I don't.
and so then the dude's like, oh yeah, my wife's in the back cooking, making some pie, and
That's
then
in the
he
trailer.
and then they're like, okay, we'll come in, but they don't
Mhm.
explicitly see
Dumbass.
the woman. And
Mhm.
and then like the whole time they're like, yeah, we got to see her. Like we have to physically see her. And he's like, she's in the back. She's in the back. And then you never see her. And then and like as they're entering the house, this I would have been like, fuck that. I'm out.
Mhm.
Um the guy's like, hey, I hope you don't mind there's metal in the walls. And then I would have been like, oh yeah, no, I'm getting the fuck. And they're like, oh yeah, no, 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 let's go teach Mormonism, spread Mormonism. And I'm like, girls, there were like clear red signs throughout this whole
Is
fucking thing.
that is that how desperate Mormons are?
I
It's
don't
like this
know.
house. This house seems like a murderer, but if we can get another one, let's do it.
Yeah,
as long as they're not black people.
is that a thing? They don't like black people in the Church of
No,
Mormon?
there was a whole thing where they said black people didn't go to heaven or something. There was like
Oh
a
my
whole
fucking god.
there's a whole thing about because like I believe with Mormonism, I believe anybody correct me. There's like a concept of like pre-saved. So if you're born in a Mormon family, you're like already saved.
Hmm.
Just stay within the church and you're saved. And I'll send you some stuff. There's a TikTok account that talks about like people that have left like religious trauma and they tell their stories. And there was this one, she was a black woman and she's like an ex-Mormon and she's talking about, yeah, like my husband's white, he was in the church. People would tell me he's going to heaven. I'm not going to join him. And it's like, it was fucking crazy. It's fucking crazy.
Damn.
But yeah, no, these girls are dumb. I'm
Yeah,
sorry,
and
girls.
there
Y'all
there's
are
a
dumb.
there's a lot of things too where it's like he's like it's time for you to play my game, or we could wait till sunrise, and I'm like choose the latter.
Yeah.
Like why are you playing his games? But yeah, there's a lot of stuff like that in that movie. But yeah, it was a decent.
Mhm.
But that's what I've been doing. I've also I think it was last week. Um Yeah, it was. Last week a new tabletop board game came out that I've been trying to bug
Mhm.
you guys to play with me. It's called it's I heard
Uh,
that one too.
I muted my mic. I don't know how you heard
You
that.
probably gotta go into your settings.
Oh my god. So every time I've been burping, you've been hearing
I
it?
twice. I heard you burp twice so far.
Okay. Oh my god. I just got it. I'm Noah, if you don't cut this, you're a dumb bitch. Okay, keep going. Keep going.
And I've been playing this I got into this new tabletop game. It's a war game like Warhammer,
Mhm.
and it's called Halo Flashpoint, and it's supposed to
Mhm.
mimic um Halo Infinite, which is the current Halo game out right now. It's supposed to mimic
Mhm.
that multiplayer, so it's like very quick, very fast paced. And um I'm a big Halo fan. I'm a big fan of the game, the franchise. I begrudgingly watched season 1 and season 2 of the show even though they're really bad. And
Mhm.
I was like let me get into this. It's really cool. And so I've been kind of like exposing myself to new tabletop games, and it's by
Mhm.
this company named Mantic. And I found out through like the tabletop game community that Mantic is often referred to as like the cheaper Games Workshop, and Games Workshop is the people who own Warhammer. So I bought the whole like starter kit for like $126, but like if that
Mhm.
was like Warhammer, that would easily be like $200. And
Yeah.
so I've been like buying new paints. Like I've been going to
Mhm.
this new hobby store that I bought it off. So I bought like some new experimental paints. Like they're like all glittery and shit. I'm like, ooh, this looks
Hey,
cool.
hey, plug the TikToks, man, because those look super pretty
Thank
of
you,
you
thank you.
painting.
Yeah, Noah's telling me to plug a TikTok. So yeah,
Plug your
I have
TikTok.
my on my TikTok, I'm Joshua Joestar. It's just me painting miniatures. And I've been using new ones, and it's been a lot of fun. But yesterday, as
Mhm.
of recording, so today is Friday, Thursday, Thursday the 21st, I played my first game, and it was funny enough when I went to go buy the box, the dude was like right behind me. He's like, "Oh, hey, I'm really into this game. Let's play a game next week." I'm like, "Yeah, let's get it."
Mhm.
I played with him. Really cool guy. I don't remember if I talked about it on the podcast or not, but I have
Mhm.
a Warhammer horror story where I played with this
Yeah.
furry, and he was just an asshole all around.
Mhm.
He was like, "Yo, your units don't do." It was very neckbeard. Like, think of like think
Yeah.
of think of like your typical like when you think of a Warhammer player, close your eyes. That was his build.
Henry
It's not
Cavill.
Henry. I was about to say it's not Henry Cavill. Think the
Mm.
polar opposite of Henry Cavill.
What's up, Superman? What's going
And
on?
yeah, this dude was a nightmare to play with, and I was kind
Mhm.
of like a little standoffish playing another tabletop with a random. Played with this dude, fucking loved him, total sweetheart. We were laughing, we were joking, and but yeah, I played this game of Halo Flashpoint, and I will say this, Noah, it's
Mhm.
not like Warhammer, where it's like you need to know the measurements, and this guy does
Hey,
this.
I already said I would try it. I already
But no,
said I
no,
would
no,
try it.
I need to reassure that to you, because it's like
Mhm.
when you played it, it's like you need to roll. You see this guy right here, he has like 5 dice, blah blah blah. It's a D8
Yeah.
system,
Mhm.
and you have a card that tells you what they do.
Mhm.
Everything's really simple, there's a few like because it's a board game, so it has like key terms and all that. So like me and him are going through the rule book, like, oh, what does this mean? What does that mean? But like it's fun. It's fun, super
Mhm.
fast paced, and it's like and like unlike Warhammer, it's like you know how you have your whole army, and it's like okay, I'm gonna have this squad go up, and now I'm gonna have this guy go up, this guy go up, and then once you're done with your moving, you're like, now this guy's gonna shoot this guy. So how this plays, it's you do like activations. So like
Mhm.
you have teams of 4, unless you're playing with certain characters, and you have a team of 3. And so you do your activation, and when it's your turn, you get one of your Spartans, and you're like, I'm gonna activate the pink Spartan, and then the pink Spartan
Okay.
gets like one movement on their activation phase, and then you as soon as that you pass it to me, I'm like, all right, now I'm activating this Spartan, and then you pass it back to you. So then like so you do one movement or you do like a shoot, and then you pass it back to me, and vice versa.
Yeah.
Listen,
Great.
listen. I know.
No, it's definitely one of those things I'm probably gonna have to play it to figure it out.
Mhm.
But yeah, I'm down to try it. I'm down to clown
Yeah,
whatever the
I'm
kids
forcing
say.
you and Kevin to play on Friday.
I really don't know anything about Halo, but I always thought the designs the
Spartans,
armor and what is in Master Chief? What is
the
he called?
Spartan.
Spartan. The Spartan armor always looked really cool.
Mhm.
I like some of the design of like some of the aliens, and it seems cool.
It's
It's just
very
not something I've ever
it's
grabbed.
it's funny. I know I brought up Warhammer right now, but
Mhm,
it's now as a Warhammer player, it's cool to see the Warhammer influence
mhm.
from other stuff because like they are literal space. These guys are literal space marines, and they are
Mhm.
fighting aliens, and it's like it's very Warhammer coded. So it's cool to see how like Games Workshop has like directly influenced other medias and stuff.
Since we're talking about Halo, there's a gun I played a long time ago. My brother's old, like 360 or something.
Hmm.
There's a gun that looks like a little laser gun, but it has a bunch of needles in its back, and you shoot a bunch of needles. What gun is that? I like that gun.
It's called the Needler.
Yeah,
I
the
have one.
needler.
You want me to go grab
That's
it?
the only. Yeah, go grab it
All
right
right,
now.
keep talking. I'll be right
I'll keep talking.
back.
Okay. Um, it's funny because I've heard very conflicting things about the Halo show, but from what I understand from most people is that season 1 is really rocky and it gets better on season 2, but I always feel it's weird when you adapt something so grandiose like a book or a movie and you try to like a video game, you try to adapt that into a show. It just seems like such a risky thing to do. Like, I know if you guys know, there's a video game called Horizon Zero Dawn. It's incredibly expensive. It has a huge world. It's people fighting dinosaurs. And when I first heard that they were going to adapt Horizon Zero Dawn, I thought, how are you going to adapt this video game with so much stuff? Like, how do you adapt a big video game that's so big into a TV show?
You
Like,
don't.
that's too much for one thing. So that's why when they canceled the Horizon Zero Dawn video game show thing, I
Oh, it
was
got
like, "Thank
canceled?
God." Yeah, it got canceled.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, so it got canceled. So, because I was talking about how Halo, it just seems like such a big thing to transfer to a show. I don't know if that was, like, the smartest thing because like, things just get so expensive, and you have a million games, and how do you condense that into one show? And it just seems like a lot to do.
You ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Ah.
Wow! Oh my gosh, such cool.
It's a Nerf
It also
gun.
looks like you could smack someone with it. I kinda like it.
Yeah, this is like supposed to be like lore accurate size for our listeners. I have a Nerf Needler that they
Mhm.
collabed with a little ways back. I
Pew, pew,
bought this
pew.
like the second it came out.
Mhm.
But yeah, speaking of game shows, one thing I'm curious. I want to hear your thoughts on this.
Tell me.
It was like oh, this is like fairly old news now, but like a week or two ago. No, yeah, this was beginning of the month actually. Come to think of it, um, so there's a game called Mass Effect. I'm pretty sure you've
Mhm,
heard me talk about it a lot. It's this giant space game where you play as like the space ambassador saving the galaxy. You know,
mhm.
um, and it's very high budget, but
Yeah. I mean, not only that, I know with the recent, edition, there's, like, whole dialogue trees and stories you can
yeah,
follow and stuff like that, right?
yeah, and the studio BioWare
Mhm,
they have this day called N7 Day, which is every November 7th. They're like, oh, we're gonna show some Mass Effect stuff. Rather, that's like,
mhm.
like, hey, we got new merch. Hey, we're working on the next game. Blah 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 blah. And N7 in the game is a significant number, so that's just become a thing they do. Anyways, this N7 day they announced that they're doing a Mass Effect TV show, and
Oh,
Amazon is going to be the one to do it.
fucking Jeff Bezos just throwing fucking money everywhere. Do they even know how much Rings of Power cost? Fucking a lot. They're throwing money at everybody. Where's our money? Give us a show.
I
We'll make a
know.
fucking good ass show like
I
that.
will say, like, I was on the fence when I heard that until I heard
Mhm.
Amazon. And I was like, oh, they're fine.
Yeah,
They
they'll
did
have the
Fallout really good.
mm.
They did Fallout extremely good, and I have complete faith in them.
Well, I feel like they're really smart with Fallout because they stick to one area. They have two pieces. The story the lines in the vault, which is contained. You use the same sets. You're smart about your budget. You buy everything. And the next one was a lot of desert. It was a lot of environmental stuff. And I know Fallout has a bunch of crazy lore and has a bunch of crazy set pieces, but they really stuck to like two major places. So I think they're really
Mhm,
smart with the story and the budget there. So even though as someone that kind of knows about Fallout but hasn't actually played, I felt like they really executed it really well with what they did.
mhm. But that's I
Uh,
was yapping a lot. What
mm.
about you? Know what have you been watching, doing, smelling, eating?
Oh my gosh. I was on for my run this morning and I do like a half run, half walk. So I'll like jog for a couple of minutes. And then when I get to like up and I start going uphill a little, I'll start walking. And I whip out my phone and I start going through TikToks just like walking. And then I just found out that a new Kendrick Lamar
I,
album
s- I saw
drops.
that on your Instagram
Oh my
stories.
god. Oh my god. I was so excited. So I instantly hopped on Spotify and I started listening. It's really good. I'm really enjoying it. It was funny enough. My brother, I posted on my Instagram story. My brother's just like, "Boo!" And I'm just like, "He's so Drake." You know, someone that's like Drake coded.
Hmm.
You know what I mean when I say he's so Drake coded.
Wait,
So I'm
your
like,
older
"This
brother?
is fucking-" my older brother.
That's so funny. I
Mhm,
would expect just I'm profiling your brother right
mhm.
now.
Go for
I
it.
would 100 expect him to be a Kendrick fan.
No, he's a big Drake fan. In fact, during the beef, he was a Drake side, and it was just so funny. I'm just like, "You're so fucking."
Like your brother 100, like I said, I'm profiling him, but he looks
Mhm.
like he would
Yeah.
be a fucking Kendrick fan.
No, he's a big Drake person. He's a big Drake person. He's so Drake coded. Little white shirt and the chain, like so Drake coded. It was funny too, because like I posted like, "Oh yeah, that's Jimmy from Degrassi," and he's just like, "Oh fuck, you don't have to hit me like that." And I'm just like, I liked Degrassi. I liked him on Degrassi, so that's a compliment to me. But yeah, I highly recommend. I did screenshots. I highly recommend The Heart Part 6. These are tracks for the new album. For the album GNX. Heart Part 6 is like it's like an old school rap, like this is how I made it. I got into the studio and we did this, and this guy lent me his chain and I
Sing
paid
it
him
right here.
back. I don't know
This
it.
is
I
how I
don't
made it.
know
My
it.
name's Kendrick.
This is
I
how
went to the
my name's
studio.
Kendrick. I made it to the studio
Drugs
with the
are
booty
whack.
hole.
Stay in
Drugs are
school.
whack. Just like clean Will Smith rap.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Heart Part 6, it's a laid back track that's like, this is how I made it my early days. And then Dodger Blue is a vibe. Like you can just get a beer and dance to Dodger Blue. And then
How
lastly, I
would you
recommend
dance to Dodger
uh
Blue, Noah?
to
For my viewers,
the
he's
a
just
little bit.
awkwardly shaking his hands up in the air. And he's doing the elbows back side to side.
That's the only one. And then lastly, I'd recommend Whacked Out Murals. It's kind of it's interesting because we talked about the new Tyler the Creator album. And part of it is like party fun, sex, and another part of it is very reflective.
Hmm.
And Whacked Out Murals in the new Kendrick album is also very reflective, but more so about the state of the rap industry and how, for one's own, everyone has become as an artist. Like he's talking about like, oh well, we raised each other up and we did all this, and when I got the Super Bowl gig, nobody but Nas like congratulated me. All the people that I thought were my friends, they didn't DM me, they didn't do anything. Like I barely got any like great job, congratulations on getting that. It's kind of like a statement on the rap game right now, which I think
I
is so
wonder
interesting.
why no one told him hi. Just
I don't
curious
know.
on that. You're
Yeah,
blind. You're
are you
blind.
outing yourself as a bit?
I know. I liked Kendrick. I would. If I had to
Talking
choose
shit.
between the great Kendrick and Drake war, I would choose Kendrick. But like, as an outsider looking at, I wonder why no one's
Mhm.
fucking with you. You know? Like, there's a
Ugh.
reason, and I'm curious about that. I don't know the answer to this. I'm just talking
Mm.
out loud.
Yeah, you're just asking questions.
Yeah,
You're
questions
just
that
asking
you are not
questions.
asking. You're like, yeah, everyone fucking hates Kendrick. After he made that big "Not Like Us" video where he
Mhm.
like got the Sinister Six of Drake to like pull up.
I love Okay, let me tell you. The thing about Drake is that he'll beef with anybody. So, like, there's a specific line in one of the diss tracks where, like, Kendrick's like, "Oh, yeah, I inherited the" because the thing about Kendrick is that he never this they've clashed before, but never so, like, directly. So when they were really, like, fighting head to head, Kendrick was like, "I inherited the beef," because a lot of the people that Kendrick has fucked with has had big beef with, Drake.
Hmm.
So he's like, "Oh, yeah, I'm taking all their beefs and I'm taking that on." So it was a whole thing. It's so interesting. You should be very lucky. I spare you. All our enemy of the podcast, Rudy. Whenever there's like a rap beef I'm invested in, I'll just send him TikToks all day. Like when there was like a Nicki Minaj,
You
Megan Thee
wanna know something
Stallion
funny about
beef.
Rudy?
Uh,
You know okay, you know how I told you about that Yes King audio where it's like the guys
mhm.
having gay sex and the food and they're
Yeah.
dipping the food. Rudy initially told me he didn't know that side. No one around me in my personal life knew about the Yes King audio, and I'm like, all right,
Mhm.
come on. I know I'm not online that much. Like, how does nobody else know about this? No one knew about it but me, and I was like, all right, now I gotta expose all of you guys to this audio of these like two men having aggressively gay sex. And so every time I get the Yes King audio, I just send it to Rudy now. He's like, this is my guts. Oh, yeah, I'm gonna fuck you good. And he's like, yes. I just send them all to Rudy now.
Uh,
So you're
uh,
sending Rudy beef raps, and I'm sending him
yeah.
audios of like two men having extreme sex.
Uh,
You like the
one's better than
duality?
the other. I do like the duality. Although he was a Nicki fan, I was just like, "Why are you on Nicki's?" Oh, because she had that song Megatron, and I was like, it had nothing to do with Transformers. She just says she's Megatron because she's like the villain. It has nothing to do. It's like, yeah. And like there's one Nicki Minaj line where she's like, "I'm in my prime, Optimist," and we was like, "Yeah, I like that." I'm just like, shut the fuck up. Oh my god, but yeah, Rap Beef, so fun. Shout out Kendrick Lamar, great album, really fun listen. It's nothing too crazy, but it's like a good listen.
Mhm.
But that also I would advise everyone to pick up if you like X-Men 97 and you want to read more X-Men, I highly recommend the Storm comic that recently came out. It is really interesting. It's a Storm solo. There hasn't been a Storm solo in like a long fucking time. Um, it's by this guy, Murwea Adole. I'm sorry if I said that wrong, but he's like a Nigerian comics writer
Ooh.
because apparently, I believe I'll double check right now. But apparently, there's like a big comic space over there. Uh, so his work's really good. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, Nigerian. There's a big comic space in Nigeria. He's done like a lot of work. So Marvel hired him over to do the Storm solo. It's really interesting. When you have like these big characters, you have like I don't know, like Wolverine, Storm, Scarlet Witch, Captain Marvel. Like I'm just naming powerful characters. They're like so powerful, you don't get too worried about them if they're in a fight because you're
Mhm.
like, yeah, these are super powerful people. So I think the comics doing a good job of like giving this character situations where they have to think on their toes, where they have to be smarter, where they have to find a different situation out of it. So I highly recommend the Storm comic. It just issue 2 just dropped this week. So I highly recommend it for anyone to go grab it. Go on Comixology, go look up your recent comic book store. But yeah, Kendrick Lamar and Storm, it's just the two things that came to my head right now. What I've been up to. I've been meaning
Now
to
let
watch
me ask you a
Ant.
question, okay? Let's say in this
Tell me.
reality, both Kendrick Lamar and Storm are real world
Okay.
people.
Okay.
And
Am I an X Men?
huh?
Am I me? Am I an X
No,
Men?
you're
What am
you.
I?
You're you.
Oh,
But
uh,
Storm is real and Kendrick Lamar is real.
does that are all other mutants real?
No, yeah, we'll say a
Just
handful.
Storm.
We'll say
Okay.
enough mutants to be like, oh, that's the X Men over there, you know, like,
Yeah.
but not too much
Okay.
because, like, you know how like there's so many X Men where it's like if one dies, they can just recruit another. And it's not really that much of a big deal.
Yeah.
So it's like if one of them was to die, it's like, oh shit, that's a big deal. One of the X Men just died, kind.
So it's kind of like the movies where they just have like the same character.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, yeah, gotcha. Okay.
And now,
Mhm.
and I know Storm is like. Would you say Storm is like your favorite X-Men?
She's top 10. I don't know about favorite, but she's top 10
Okay.
for sure.
And you're going on your walk. You're doing your thing. You're doing your thing. You go up a little hill and you're like, time to start walking. Time to scroll through
Mhm.
TikTok. And
Uh,
you're going through TikTok and you find out, or Twitter, Blue Sky, whatever you're on, you find out that Kendrick released a diss track on Storm.
oh my god. Or as well, I'd send it to Rudy. I'd send it to Rudy. And then I wanna hear what happened. Because Kendrick, why are you doing this? What happened? What beef is
When
happening?
he's beefing with the X-Men, he's like, "Fuck
Why is
you,
he being
you wheelchair bitch," and then he starts going after Storm and all of them.
it's, it's funny you mention that because in Storm issue 2, there's literally a moment where that's like, yeah, like your Storm, I don't give a fuck. What have the X-Men done for mutant? Go fuck yourself. Like there's a moment that happens in issue 2. But I'd want to find out the beef. Like, what's wrong, Kendrick? Are you mad?
But who are you
Like
siding with right off the bat? You,
that's really tough.
and the
Who's
song's
done
good.
more
And
for
you know the
me?
song's good. Of course it's good because Kendrick made it.
Uh, yeah, that's really tough. I guess I'd have to see both sides of the beef. I want to
No,
see.
no, 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 no.
Yeah,
You gotta choose. You gotta choose a side right now.
I gotta
Your
choose
blind
right now.
loyalty.
Am I not? I'm not a mutant.
You know you're Noah. No mutant.
Kendrick. I guess I'll go Kendrick. I guess I'll go Kendrick.
Damn, that's when you become a mutant racist.
Yeah. Because if I was a mutant, I'd be like, Storm did nothing wrong. I don't know why he's mad. I don't know why he's mad. Like, just start talking shit. Oh my god. Maybe you know what? Maybe no. She's a good person. If you don't like her, she's not gonna destroy your house. I think we're good.
Okay, so you're siding with Kendrick.
I am siding with Kendrick until I find out more. Oh my god, Halle Berry, what did you do? What did you do, Halle Berry? That's what I gotta think of. Oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah, that was a tough question. Thank you for asking the important questions, Lewis.
That's why I have to do something with my journalism degree.
That you had to do something with your journalism degree. I was applying to this design job, and I was like, "Oh, I get to use my hooray!" But yeah, that's always fun when you use our degree.
So Noah, let me ask you something. Kind of left
Ask
field.
me
Uh,
anything you want.
So I
Anything
saw
you
that
want.
you started jumping over to Blue Sky.
Yeah, I just jumped on because a few podcasts I like left Twitter
Uh
and
huh.
went over there. So I was like, okay, I'll follow them. That's basically it. It's not if more I know none of my friends I think are really on it.
Really?
So I probably yeah, I like only a couple people, but none of like people I talk to every day are on it.
It's funny because I've like almost left Twitter entirely now. I just have it there for like people post like job opportunities for journalism
Mhm.
stuff. But everyone, I'll give you guys a peek behind the curtain of games journalism. Um, are you like eating ass right there?
No, that was me opening the curtain and going,
No, I was
ah!
like, oh no, he's like he's just eating
I
some ass
was
right.
like, ah! For audio listeners, I put my hands in my face and I opened the curtain. But Lewis, I guess you know that's where his mind goes.
Anyways, so yeah,
Mhm,
I think it was like shortly after the election,
mhm,
or it was around the time of the election, like for
mhm,
a 4 week span around that time. There was kind of like a mass migration of like games journalists and people in games media just fully going over the Blue Sky. 'Cause I had a Blue Sky account for a very long time. Because for a
mhm,
while, in order to get a Blue Sky account, you needed to like be invited because they
mhm,
were like testing out some shit. And so I was able to get an early link on, but it was one of those things to where no one was really using it, so I just kind of left my Blue Sky account alone.
mhm.
And now like everyone's using it that I know in like my industry. And I just only go on Blue Sky now. So I like the only time I go on Twitter is whenever you send me a DM or something. But
Mhm.
other than that, like I'm hardly ever on Twitter now. So I
Oh,
find that
okay.
funny that
Well, now I'll have to look
you're
for
telling
you.
me that no one you know personally is on
Mhm,
Blue Sky. And I honestly think too a big part of it comes down to like little kid shit where it's like I have like 500 followers on Twitter. I don't want to lose all my
mhm.
followers.
Yeah, I
I
don't
honestly
lose my
think that's what it comes down to.
yeah, no, 100%. Because you spend so much time on one thing, it's hard even if you don't like it, it's hard to give it up.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, I'll look for you now. I'll see if I can find.
It's same
Yeah, not a lot
same
of
username
people.
across the board.
I'm super hot, Joshua Joestar.
Yeah, like I so Blue Sky also has these like starter pack things that like people can make. It's like a list of like, oh, like here are like let's just say Geek Press, okay? Let's just say
Mhm.
like, oh, here's every member of the Geek Press on Blue Sky, and it's like me and I make this list. I put me on you. I put me on there. I put you on there, and I put Rudy on there. And let's just say Diego, friend of the podcast, and then Kevin. I put Kevin on there, and it's like you can just put follow all. And so I've been
Mhm.
on a couple of those for like games media. It's like, oh, here's a couple of games
Oh.
media people, and I've just curated a little chunk of followers. Like I so like right now, let me see how much I have on Twitter because I've had Twitter since I was like in high school.
Mhm.
Same account too. On Twitter, I have 770 followers. Blue Sky, which is mostly industry people that I know of,
Mhm.
and now majority of these followers are people either like indie game devs, uh, indie game devs, or just people I just flat out don't know. But as of right now, I have 404 followers on Blue Sky.
Oh, I see.
And I
Fancy.
don't really use my Blue Sky, like really at all.
You used it a couple days ago
Yeah, that was about it. But like,
to brag about reading, nerd,
yeah,
loser, geek.
but that's about it. But
So,
yeah, so I like Blue Sky. It's Twitter by all accounts.
yeah,
It's Twitter, but it's just not Twitter by
Twitter,
Elon.
Twitter without the pedophile.
I'm not gonna follow you. Know
That's okay. You don't have to.
you only got 2 followers. You fuck
Yeah, I just started yesterday.
Gene. Fuck you, Gene.
Gee,
Who else you following? Jake.
and
Fuck
Jake.
you too,
That's
Jake.
it.
Let's see who you're following.
But,
I can't see. Oh yeah, here we go. Let's see. Fuck you. I
you
already
know,
said drop out. You guys are cool. The Divas podcast. I don't know. You guys sound. You know.
oh, Dark Side Divas is a podcast where this guy and girl they go through the visual story of Star Wars. So they did episode 1, 2, all of Clone Wars, 3, Kenobi, a little couple more things, and then they're currently on Star Wars Rebels. They're just going through all of Star Wars.
So what are they gonna do once they finish Star Wars? Like that they end the podcast?
They've been going for a while. So they'll probably double back, like do like a couple other things that they can.
You're cutting in and out.
Okay, there's a couple stuff they have to go back through, but they've been. It takes a while. Takes a
It's
while.
like our how our mutual friend Emilio did like a podcast called
Mhm,
Literally Him where they talk about Ryan Gosling films, and it's like
mhm.
there's a due date on when that podcast is gonna
Yeah,
finish.
you know what? I believe they're currently doing Christian Bale. So they're just doing like straight white dude bro actors, I think.
You know, I would say Ryan Gosling was very dude bro up until maybe like Barbie.
Mhm.
I think that's when he's like no longer dude. I don't consider him a dude bro
Oh, I
actor no
mean,
more.
like, what I mean is like
That
dude
culture around it.
actors. Yeah, dude bro actors that dude bros love.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
They're just like, dude, fucking Christian Bale, that's my fucking Batman, bro. You know what I mean? That so it's like those type of actors. I don't know who would go. Who would you say is like a dude bro?
Hmm.
Christian Bale, uh, Ryan Gosling. I don't know who
I want to
Ben
say like
Affleck,
Robert Pattinson.
Robert. Maybe, yeah. I feel like dude bro would be like, oh, he was in fucking Twilight. Fuck that guy.
Yeah, but then like once Batman came out, they're like, oh look at him, you know.
I
Um,
I
hmm.
don't know. There's actors of what is oh no. He was in like Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise, biggest dude bro actor.
You wanna see something cool that I haven't showed you yet?
I would love to see something
So,
cool.
as always, Wizards of the Coast, from time to time, will send me some free stuff in exchange for me writing up words about them. And I haven't got to writing this article yet, but I need to because it's gonna be going up like next. But I got this.
Mhm. What the fuck, you bitch? You got a Magic the Gathering Foundations beginner box. Let me tell you guys, if you don't play Magic the Gathering, Foundations is a new set that just got released, and basically it's a bunch of certain decks are themed like spooky, or they'll do like Lord of the Rings decks. Foundations is a bunch of cards that are good for like beginners and for old timers. That just has a bunch of like really good basic cards that'll help you build out like Correct me if I'm wrong. That's like Foundations,
Hmm.
right? It's like a lot of essential basic cards. That's like a lot of different themes that you can just grab and incorporate into your deck.
Hmm.
That's crazy.
I've just had it sit. It's still in its plastic. I need to like after I'm done recording this, I'm gonna go write up that article.
Oh my gosh, that's so exciting.
It's a gift guide. It's like, oh hey, look, you can buy this for
Yeah,
this
I was
much.
about to say everyone for Christmas is getting Magic the Gathering cards. Here's a couple packs. Merry Christmas, Kevin. Merry Christmas,
I ain't
Rudy.
giving Kevin shit for Matt. Here's the two people aren't getting shit from me for Magic
Mhm.
wise: Kevin and Zach. I ain't giving them no Magic stuff. Fuck those guys.
You gotta give it to Rudy so he has no choice. Like, oh, you got all these cards now, man. Now you have to.
You know, I was thinking about this. I remember when we were originally trying to get Rudy to play.
Mhm.
He was like, "I want a commander deck that's all birds." He tried to say
Yeah.
something obscure, and I was like, and I looked it up, and I'm like, "Wait, there is a Magic commander deck that's entirely built around birds," and it was like $40. And I was like,
Mhm.
"Rudy, I'll buy it for you." And he's like, "Oh no, I don't want the birds anymore." And I'm like, "Shut the fuck up, then! Like, why are you saying something and doing another?"
Yeah, we'll call you on your bluff, bitch. We'll call you out. Plus, there's lots of birds cards. You could build a bird deck. Actually, we're talking about specific decks. I've been pondering building a goblin. I've been on like a goblin or build like maybe like a red black goblin. I've been looking into it.
I know there's a
I
lot of
might
Lord of
do
the Ring cards that are goblin
it. Mhm.
based, so
So I might do that. But that's super cool that Wizards of the Coast sent you that. Shout out to Wizards of the Coast. We get like maybe 10 listeners, but they should sponsor us anyways.
yeah, though you get 10 more cards.
You get 10, we get one card per listener.
Hmm.
Ugh. Anyways, what else is up?
Okay, so no,
What's happening?
you told me before we started recording that
I said so many things. You're
that
gonna have to.
you dropped the Ultimate X-Men. I have been talking
Okay.
shit to you about reading Ultimate X-Men.
Mhm.
You're like, just because you think it's bad doesn't mean it's
Yeah,
bad. So now you finally dropped it. You finally realize it's bad. How many issues did it take you to realize it was bad?
like 7.
Took me like four or three.
And the thing is, it's not bad.
It's
It's
dog
just
shit.
it's very episodic.
Hmm.
And I stand by my stance that if this was in like a manga form where it was like one book with like 8 to 7 chapters, it would read much better.
Hmm.
Because when the thing about manga chapters is that when you have it in that little, it reads very quickly. The stories flow into each other. So if it's like a one shot, like this chapter we're doing this, next chapter we're doing this, like it builds upon itself. But when you have a comic book, you that rising interest in that story is harder to build. So for instance, there's a comic where they all the Japanese characters, they all get together. They're at like a festival, and there's like a big head floating above them. It's like, oh, what the hell is that big head? Like it's a scary image in the sky. Your first thought is like, okay, next issue, something's gonna happen with that head. They're gonna fight it. They're gonna do something. There's like an evil vision in front of them. They're gonna do something about it because that's like traditional storytelling. Like I see a bad guy in the corner, I'm gonna go. Next issue, it's another time jump, and like a couple weeks later, like that was crazy that that happened in the sky, and I'm just like, what the fuck is? Why didn't you go deal with that problem? And it's okay to like if it was all. I feel like I'd like it better if it was all because it's month to month and it's 4.99, like $1 more than regular comic. I'm not gonna pick it up, which I think is interesting because pacing is slow, and I'm okay with that. But when it comes to something like Spider-Man, I like it a bit more because it feels like things are happening more. There's more set pieces. Like there was a recent issue that was I'm not going to get into it because I know you pick up
You
Ultimate
know what?
Spider-Man.
I'll say
And
it.
it was
Give
like,
me a thumbs up when you're good. I'm taking off my headphones so you can say it. Okay?
oh no, I am not. I'm not going to say it. I'm just going to say
Oh, okay.
it was part. There was action. There was a balance between action and story that I thought was really interesting. And for me, at least, Ultimate X-Men just doesn't have enough action to keep me
And like
engaged.
I don't know, the way they kind of like formed the X-Men was very like MCU. It's like, what are we? There's an X. What about
Mhm.
the X people? No, X-Men. And I'm like, that was so fucking
Mhm.
did that.
Yeah, it's just it doesn't make any sense. It's whatever. If you enjoy it, I love it. I'm just dropping But yeah, with Spider-Man, at least like I feel like it balances more between moving pieces, and with Ultimate X-Men, it's just I don't feel like the pieces are moving fast enough for me. We're on a monthly basis, baby. We gotta move
Yeah, it's
faster.
almost been a year since they've been
Hmm.
publishing, and like I feel like not much is like, at least when I dropped it, nothing much was like they barely formed the X-Men, even then it was just like a
Hmm.
bunch of kids riding a bicycle off into the sunset. Where are the X-Men? I'm like, okay, now they formed the X-Men, but I don't know. Was there any like big setup so far for anything?
No, that's the thing. There's been no. I guess my thing is like the first arc. There's no big conclusion.
Yeah, because
Like I
going
know
back
in.
to Ultimate
Mhm.
Spider-Man, like they're building up to like Kingpin and
Yeah.
how like they're forming the Sinister Six. I can't talk on
Mhm.
Black Panther because I've never read it, but it's like at least with that one, they're consistently doing something,
Mhm.
and
Like yeah.
you kind of get the thing where it's like, oh, now Harry, he's like starting to go evil now. Let's see how this
Mhm.
plays out.
And it's things are like visibly actions interesting. With Ultimate X-Men, I just got tired of waiting.
Hmm.
That's the thing about Ultimate X-Men. I still think the story is interesting. I'm just like I'm tired of waiting. Maybe I'll pick up a trade when they're more collected,
Hmm.
but it's not like Spider-Man where like each month I'm like, okay, what the fuck is going on here? I gotta read and see what's happening with Peter, MJ. Are they still married? Is drama finally happening? Or kid's gonna die? I'm
It,
waiting for one of those kids to die.
it's been about like 2 or 3 months since I read comics.
Mhm.
I'm still buying them. It's just I haven't read them. And the only a large reason was because I was my girlfriend got back into reading. I think I mentioned this like on an
Mhm.
earlier episode. And so I was like, "Oh, let me get back into reading too."
Yes. Tell me about your reading.
So there was this book I she bought me for Christmas last year, called Cyberpunk 2077 No Coincidence, and it's based in the video game universe.
Hmm.
And one thing I found for me is that like I like reading video game books. Especially because it's something I already have an interest in. It's easy for me to visualize, and like I can't say this confidently because I haven't done this
Hmm.
just yet. But like if you give me uh fucking Bill the Hobbit versus Orc Man, I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna get into that book because it's like, all right, this is just generic high fantasy shit, you know. Again, talking out my ass, I haven't experienced that just yet, but stuff I have read, like I've read a book on like Hideo Kojima. I'm looking at my books right now. I've read the for the the Jedi Fallen series. I've read the what is it called, Battle Scars. It's a tie-in book. I read this Death Note book, which is like, oh, what if L would have won between
Hmm.
Kira and L? And so I
So you like books that already have something to do with media you already
yeah,
like. You couldn't just pick up a random fantasy. Like you want to go into a world you already like and explore more of it.
yeah,
Could you say that's a fair
yeah.
like
That's a
assessment?
fair assessment. So
Mhm.
Cyberpunk, I've read a lot of like I'm a huge Cyberpunk fan. Like you
Mhm.
should go read my story over at gamesradar.com where I interview some of the devs. Um, but like I've read a good chunk of their comics. I've watched the anime, played the game like twice. Huge fan of it. So I was reading this one and I really liked it a lot. So it follows like a cast of like 6 people, and
Mhm.
that can kind of get messy when it's jumping back and forth between people, just
Yeah.
because it's like they will, like, let's say one of the characters, his name's Zor, so it's
Mhm.
following Zor, and then it'll start a new paragraph. Like it'll visibly be a new paragraph for like you as the reader to see, and that's gonna be that's the book telling you this is transitioning into the next character, and the next character is like Aya. So now
Mhm.
we're telling Aya's story, and then it'll keep doing that. But like the first couple words, you're like, who the fuck is this right now?
Mhm.
So it gets a little messy like that, but I really liked it because it was like true to the cyberpunk theme, and in the game they kind of like they talk about like bigger world building stuff where it's like I don't want to get too into it, but it's like um I'll give you a
Mhm.
quick bridged version. In the Cyberpunk 2077 video game, there's this thing called the Black Ice or Black Wall, something like that. And the government set up this black wall, a digital
Mhm.
black wall, because they had a bunch of rogue AIs on the other side of the wall, and they were taking over the internet. They were, and then if these AIs would have taken over the internet, they would have just like Terminator status, rise up, kill us all. So
Yeah.
they're like, we need to set up this black wall. And now in the world of cyberpunk, uh, humans only have like access to like 10 to 25% of the internet. They can't access the other half because these AIs they're super dangerous, and that's what the base game goes into a lot.
Hmm.
This book dives deeper into that, and spoiler alerts, you find out that the main character of the story is actually an AI, that he doesn't know he's an AI, and throughout the book they drop little snippets. It got to a point where like I had to like look it
Hmm.
up on Reddit, and I was like, oh shit, this makes sense now, and like it made me like enjoy it a lot more because
Hmm.
there's like points where he's like, oh, like he's like, I'm getting my sniper rifle ready. I'm pointing my scope down. I'm looking. How do I know how to do this? Like, like
Yeah.
the wind is gonna knock off my bullet, and he's like, I just know this. How do I know this? And
Hmm.
then people are looking at him, and he was like, dude, you have like military training, but you're like an exterminator. This doesn't make any fucking sense. And he's like, I just
Hmm.
know this. I don't know how. And then at the end of the book, you find out that like through context clues, they never flat out say it, but he was killed very early on, and this corporation snagged him up, implanted an AI chip in his brain, erased all his memory, and now this AI is him, and he's not even his real person. And so then at the end of the book, in true cyberpunk fashion, pretty much everybody dies, and then like the big corporation is like, this experiment failed, time to launch experiment number 4 now.
Hmm.
So I'm like, oh shit, so like there's more people like this. And in the game there's kind of like an offhand that Keanu Reeves character makes. He was like, yeah, I've heard stories, but I heard stories of like rogue AIs taking control of people's bodies, but then next thing you know, I also heard stories of fucking aliens doing this. And he starts making this like offhand remark like, oh, this is full of shit. But I'm like,
Hmm.
oh no, Johnny was right. Like, but he thought that was full of shit. So
Hmm.
I did enjoy that book a lot. It was really good. And now I'm reading. Sorry. Do you have any comments on that?
Oh, I was about to say that sounds very relevant. Very interesting.
Yeah, it was
Shout out to
it was a really good book.
uh our AI overlords. I love you. I don't know the slander Lewis is talking right now, but I
Fuck
love you,
you.
AI.
Okay,
What were you about
Kevin.
to say? Oh my god, never mind. I'm joking. Fuck AI.
And
I don't
so
want that my visual stance to be. I love AI.
and so
Fuck
now
AI.
I'm reading a new book, which is a Warhammer book,
Nerd.
and it's called The Fall of Cadia. And a lot of things happen in Warhammer. Like a lot of lore, a lot of stuff that's like, oh, you don't really need to know that. But this
Mhm.
is like one of the major like universe events that happens. So I'm reading this
Mhm.
book, and I'm only like 5-10 pages in, and it is a hard fucking, because
Mhm.
before I even like opened the book, like, here, I got this. This is a different Warhammer book. It's called
Mhm. Nerd.
can you see it?
Minka
Yeah,
less.
it's called Minka Less.
Last something.
And like, so when I had opened the book originally, for Fall Acadia,
Mhm.
yeah, this one doesn't have it. That's funny. So what had happened was, it was like it gave me a whole fucking encyclopedia of like a bunch of characters. And
Oh, let me grab mine. You keep talking. I'm gonna grab my book.
okay, it gave me a whole encyclopedia of like a bunch of characters, and it was like, oh, this person is loyal to the Necrons, which is like a different race in there. And here are all the Necron characters. It's Joe Blow,
Mhm.
John Blow, Jane Blow. And it's like, oh, here are all the Chaos demons. It's Joan Blow, John Blow, Jane Doe, and so on and so forth for like humans,
Mhm.
aliens, blah 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 blah. And I'm looking through all that. I'm like, it's a fuck ton of names. I'm like, all right, I don't fucking care. Scroll to the next page, start reading, and they start like name dropping these characters like as if like I've read like 40 previous fucking books leading up to this event. And then it was like, and so now Jane is feeling the cracks of a bell, and they haven't felt this since the war. Blah 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 blah. And I'm like, who the fuck is this person? It's so far bad read. I need to muscle through it though, because it's like 400 or 500 pages. I hear it's really good, and
Mhm.
I am a big fan of the Cadians, which is like army within Warhammer.
I will say my book. I was on for a run, and in my
Oh, you cut it out. You cut out.
areas. Oh, hello,
Yeah.
hello. I was running on my runs. There's a couple book stations on my wall in my neighborhood, so I picked up Sypha's Kane, Defender of the Imperium.
Uh huh.
So I thought I'd read it because it's one of those ones similar to what you have, where it has a bunch of books in it. This one doesn't have a thing like you, but at the bottom of a lot of these pages, they have references. Like they'll have one. I forget what it's called, but it'll be like something in the book where at the end it'll have like work cited. It'll be like one, and then you can go look down and see. Like it'll be like, oh, and that's the Battle of Havard.
Hmm.
The Battle of Havard happened in the 12th century. Where that's very. It feels like I'm reading a textbook where they're like referencing others, and it's just okay. It seems like a lot.
Yeah, it's a
That's
lot.
my one thing about Warhammer is that it's
You cut off
so
again.
intimidating. That's the thing about Warhammer is that it feels like it's a lore, a lot of lore,
Yeah.
and I don't know if I can handle that.
But you know what you can handle is giving people their weekly homework assignment.
All right. Oh my gosh, this is such a. Don't forget to shop. As of this will be dropping Monday of Thanksgiving week, which means it's gonna be Black Friday and Small Business Saturday. So don't forget to. My homework of the week is to have everyone listening to go check out a local business. I know my comic book store is doing 50% off everything, so I might.
Nice. My comic book
pick up
store
some
got like
trades.
robbed. They put it on their Instagram. Like someone like went in, like threw a rock at the window.
Oh
and
my
grabbed a bunch of shit.
god.
I've been avoiding going to that comic book store because
Mhm.
they're very talkative people and they like to talk
Mhm.
to me, and I'm like, I don't want to like hear.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah, I just wanna
put the
grab my
bags in
stuff,
put the
yeah.
fries in the bag, bro. Like, I know it's fucked up
That's
to
what-
say. I know it's extremely fucked up to say, but I
Mhm.
know them, and I know I'm gonna be
Yeah.
stuck there for a minute. So I'm just waiting till like that cools down, and I'm gonna go back. Sorry, that just reminded me.
No, that's so funny. Maybe
It's
that's
not
why the
funny that
guy
it got
stole.
robbed, but it's just yeah.
Yeah, that's why he got robbed. The guy was like, I don't want to talk to these bitches. And he threw a rock and he took his shit, his daily pile, and he just left.
Oh god, dude, it was.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
And you know what's the fucked up part? Like, this is like the second or third time they've been robbed in maybe like 2-3 years. Like, someone broke into the store.
What's happening, Downey? What's going on?
It's not Downey. It's a whole nother city.
What city is it in?
It's in Bellflower.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You want to know if something fucked up? You know that Warhammer store that I took you guys to play D&D at?
Uh-huh.
It's on that same strip.
Is it?
Yeah.
You think they'd rob the Warhammer store because it has more expensive stuff in it?
Yeah, but I don't. I think maybe comics and like.
What if this was a
figurines are
personal
easier to sell.
vendetta? If this is a vendetta, someone was pissed off.
I don't know. I don't know what happened. I'm sorry. Keep
Did
going.
you hear? I was about to say they threw a rock because they're mad about woke.
Wait,
Have you heard of
mad
that
about
on
what?
social media? There's a whole thing. Right wing grifters are mad about Absolute Batman because like he's not rich. and he fights
Oh
for
yeah, he's like a
people,
poor
and
man.
They called him an emo transgender. They literally called him that. So yeah, I'm sure that person was just mad about Batman, the new Absolute Batman comic.
All right, so your homework is to go.
My homework is to throw a brick through a small business you don't like because of woke liberals.
That is a joke. That he's joking.
That
He's
is a
joking.
joke. I am joking. My homework is to go support a small business on Small
By
Business
throwing
Saturday.
a brick through the window.
No, by
That's
throwing a
joke.
brick through big box. Throw it at Walmart.
Yeah,
They're used to it.
they can afford it.
They can afford it. But Lewis, what's your homework?
My homework is for everyone to go buy a starter set for Halo Flashpoint. It's not that much. It's like I think it's like less than $100. Go do that. I want more people to play this game. I want it to take off because they're gonna release new content next year, and I'm excited for more miniatures. But yeah, go do that, and yeah, go throw rocks at. Just throw rocks.
Yeah, go throw rocks at people.
Yeah, rock fights are fun. I don't know if you guys have ever been in them. They're a lot of fun, but then it sucks when you get hit by the rock.
Yeah. It's fun to hit other people with rocks.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, thanks everyone for listening. If you made it this far, thank you. I don't know. All right, bye. See you later.
I love you. Goodbye.